Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Papich, and I will be discussing the Week 5 readings. In the two assigned chapters, Latham describes motivational research surrounding 1950 to 2000. Much of the third chapter wrestles with this conflict between behaviorism and cognitive psychology. Essentially, the debate surrounds whether or not individuals have a conscious ability to manage their actions, or if there exists some type of deterministic force of stimuli that generate certain responses. Early theorists such as Vitelli sought to create job satisfaction with performance, job satisfaction with performance, but these theories generated low statistical validity. Other researchers sought to create need-based theories into organizational motivation. Originally based off Maslow's need hierarchy, theorists speculated that an employee would find the most fulfillment once all lower levels were accommodated. And once they felt accommodated within those roles, they would feel again more job satisfaction and thus be more productive. One such need-based explanation came from Douglas McGregor in 1957. He summarized two conflicting theories surrounding organizational motivation. The first, Theory X, states that employees will generally find the path of least resistance and therefore require managerial interference in order to be productive. Overall, he disagreed with this concept. His second theory, Theory Y, states that employee motivation is intrinsic, and the role of the manager is not to apply pressure, but rather to remove obstacles and let the individuals develop these characteristics themselves. Notice that these are the early makings of path goal theory. Another motivational theory is job characteristics theory, which states that specifics of the actual job create the productive employee. Certain job characteristics, such as autonomy, continue to correlate with job satisfaction and productivity. Equity theory states that individuals tend to look at their situation as a ratio of input over output compared with similar other individuals' input over output. Basically, it's being said that if I am working a certain kind of way or giving a certain amount of effort, and this is my salary or this is what I get out of it, and my friend over here is doing the exact same job and they're not putting in as much effort and getting the same results back, I might feel disinclined to continue to do what I am doing, or vice versa. Expectancy theory, developed mostly by Victor Vroom, essentially states that individuals will be productive according to two propositions. The first indicates that the individual believes there will be consequences for their efforts, and the second proposition suggests that consequences will be worthwhile. So that individual will continue to work if they believe that they are going to be reimbursed per se, and that would be a worthwhile reimbursement. In contrast to the aforementioned theories, behaviorism takes on more of an automated conditioning approach to motivation. Largely developed by behaviorists such as B.F. Skinner, behaviorism suggests that individual actions are the product of a specific set of stimuli in a specific environment. That is, there is a deterministic force that will condition behavior based on the surrounding stimuli, regardless of whether or not the individual is cognizant of them. Lastly, goal-setting theory further rebukes behaviorism, since it suggests that one can alter behavior before stimuli are directly applied by setting production goals. So essentially, the behavioralism is kind of negated because somebody can come in and say, well, meet this certain criteria, and then you will have thus and thus results. So it's not necessarily a direct stimuli that changes behavior, but something that somebody is cognizant of and has to make a decision to act on it. In Chapter 4, Latham discusses motivation from 1975 to 2000. The goal-setting theory would get significant support as repeated studies indicate the introduction of goals increase productivity significantly. Limitations of goal settings are outlined in the chapter. These include setting unrealistic goals, further hurt goal setting, productivity. Having multiple goals that conflict with one another would hurt productivity, and goals without any feedback would struggle to produce significant productivity as well. Which now, looking back, these all kind of seem very apparent and almost obvious. If you were to set a goal, it should be an achievable goal. If you're going to have multiple goals, one goal should not conflict with another goal. And lastly, that you want to see some feedback from your goals. If you are setting a goal, you don't want to know if you've passed the goal, you want to know if you've passed the goal, and if you never hear back from that goal, it kind of becomes useless. Albert Bandura was responsible for promoting a breakthrough integration of behavioralism and cognitive psychology. His social cognitive theory asserts that individuals are actors within their environments. but their actions can cause reactions which serve as stimuli back to the individual. Therefore, it's kind of a mesh between that deterministic behavioralism and that cognitive psychology theory. Therefore, given that perspective, conscious actions as well as environmental factors ultimately contribute to behavioral outcomes. Latham goes on to discuss various other constructs affecting individual motivation. For example, self-regulation, the concept that an individual can improve their own performance due to implementing a plan of personal goal setting and self-monitoring. Also, high-performance jobs, described as meaningful, growth-facilitating, and sources of high external and internal rewards, essentially intrinsic and external rewards, or intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. These lead to higher job satisfaction. Another well-researched concept is self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is the ability of an individual to feel confident in their abilities. Research shows that those who have measures of self-efficacy, high measures of self-efficacy, are generally more productive, are challenged to achieve, and report higher job satisfaction and organizational commitment. Which leads me to my question. How does a Christian practice self-regulation, and how, specifically, can a biblical worldview self-regulation contribute to success in the workplace? That's all I have for you today. Sorry if you guys heard dogs barking in the background, but currently displaced due to the hurricane and trying to get all the assignments in on time. Thank you.